What's up, guys? This is cielshock from CTUSA Mini 4-Wheel Drive Racing Squad, and I'm a teacher here in Noobworks. I want to say shout out to my colleague MigX from Cali. Congratulations for winning 3rd place in the Ultimate Hobbies. Congratulations, Glenn, from winning the 1st place. What's up, all the Cali racers? The racers in the Philippines, what's up? Sir Joey, Sir Jerome, Sir Tonks, Sir Larry, and Lord G, and all the members in Noobworks. What's up to you guys? Haven't made a video in a while, and here's your next video. I want to say shout out to all the Team Putek, especially Sir Jing. Shout out Sir Jing. And I want to shout out to Roscoe. Check out his channel. He has his own Roscoe channel. He's making some mini 4-wheel drive tutorials too from Indonesia. I want to say shout out to JHT Mini 4-wheel drive. Thank you so much for the sliding damper sponsor that you gave us. So I can make a review and I try to test it. Like the sliding dampers video is going to be out soon. But if we need some mini 4-wheel drive needs, you can check out JHT. He got an eBay account. He also have a Facebook account. You can message him. You can check him on eBay. You can check him on Facebook, and he have his WhatsApp number over here too. If you want to check it out, you guys can want to screenshot that. That's Jeff Ye for all your mini 4-wheel drive needs. All right. So I'm part of the JHT mini 4-wheel drive team, and I get all his parts, and it's all pretty reliable. Copy and Tamiya parts are all available. All your mini 4-wheel drive needs. JHT mini 4-wheel drive. All right, so that's it for the shout outs. I want to thank Migs too for having this. And now that I show you this chassis, we're gonna talk about the famous chassis back in the 90s. It's the Super TZ chassis. All right. Before I made a video about Super 1, and now I'm making this is one of the video on the series. This will be the part 2. This is the Super TZ chassis. We gotta go in depth with this chassis, when it's made, all its stats and all its capabilities, and what's the strengths and the weaknesses of this chassis. This chassis is provided by MigX. Thank you so much. So we can make an in-depth review about it, and hope you like the video. And then the video, I'm gonna show the diagram in 2 seconds now, and hope you like it. Okay, before I start, I want a quick history about the TZ chassis. The TZ chassis was released in September 1996. It debuted with a release of Cyclone Magnum. So people doesn't know about that. Cyclone Magnum is the first TZ chassis. The first Super TZ chassis wheelbase is 82mm, which is the same as Type 2 and Type 4 and Type 5 chassis. The chassis is lower to center of gravity, which is placed lower than a Super 1 and a Super FM. Front bumper was redesigned to improve rigidity. Super 1 chassis is equipped with 1.4 propeller shaft and with pink crown gears. It's the default gear cover is designed compatible with 351 and 371. So you really don't need a special gear ratio for a Super TZ chassis. And also, the battery is lower to the ground, so it's more downforce. The side guards has now became part of the chassis, which is no longer removable. Like Super FM chassis, it comes to be an optional roller stay. So it does have a roller stay, but it's optional. Super TZ chassis is equipped with a wide tread wheelbase, which improves chassis stability. So the stability of this chassis is good. This chassis also used the first ABS plastic compared to the other chassis, which is Super 1 and FM use regular plastic. Compared to Super FM, the Super TZ has a better acceleration performance. Otherwise, the fact that it is a rear motor but it's also same design as FM chassis, the starts are almost the same as the Super FM. But later on, they're gonna make maybe 4 years or 6 years later, they're gonna make a TZX chassis, and that would be a different video. And then there's a successor called AR chassis. And now we are going to the stats. Okay, so now I'm showing you all the stats and of the Super TZ chassis. But before I start, I just want to remind you guys, all these stats is coming straight out from the box of the Super TZ chassis. All right, this is straight out from the box. No mods, no cuttings, no floating transmission, no motor. This is just pure from stock motor, and everything start from the box. Okay, so I divided it for 6 categories, like toughness, acceleration, cornering, stability, and maintenance. Okay. The toughness is 3, which is pretty impressive for an old chassis. It's like medium toughness. The acceleration is 3.5, which is kind of low, for this chassis, because it's heavier compared to the old chassis. The cornering is 4 because it does have a narrow wheelbase. The stability is 2.9. So if you really want to work on the stability, this chassis, you have a lot of work to do, because I think there's only 1 point attachment in the back. I'm gonna show you later. And the maintenance is 3. Okay. So the toughness is 3, the acceleration is 3.5, the cornering is 4, and the stability is 2.9, and the maintenance is 3. So that's pretty much all the stats that you need to know for the TZ chassis. And now I'm gonna show you all the in-depth details, what it looks like in 2 seconds. All right, so we're talking about Super TZ chassis today. This TZ chassis is brought to you by actually by MigX. So thank you, MigX, for giving us a chance to have a Super TZ chassis, because it's a pretty old chassis and it's really hard to find when it comes here in the US. But okay, so as you can see, this is a Super TZ chassis. Compared to old chassis, this bumper, take a closer look, is reinforced and made really tough. This is, if you remember with the Super 1 chassis, the bumper is really weak, which is tough. Okay, so you can see also, there's only 2 holes right here when it comes to TZ chassis. And then if I make the video, after I've made a video about the TZX, you'll see the difference. There's only 2 holes over there. So there's where you mount your rollers for stock races, and you mount the mount plate or RP plate or carbon plate. There's only 2 holes there. There's no holes over here. It's like Super 2 and other chassis too. So modifying this chassis, it's kind of tough. All right. Also, if the switch will be here, it goes sideways right there. This pops by pushing this part. There you go. So you can see, part pops. See, for the TZ chassis, you put the terminals over there. So you put this part. Put this back. There you go. And the battery catch, they made it really thick. It's not as flimsy as the Super 1. Take a look at that. The wing is attached with the chassis, which is really durable. As you can see, it's durable. That's why they use this in the Philippines for technical races. You know, where they put like a long screw and then put 17 or 19 millimeter on the side, because this is attached with a chassis. Unlike the Super 1 chassis, it's detachable, and also in Super FM, it's not as solid like this, but it's solid. Also, this is the first chassis that used ABS plastic. You know, it's not like a regular plastic. It's an ABS plastic, which is tougher. Yeah, the motor catch is detachable like this, like an FM chassis. You can see. You push it over here in the back to get it. And then you put the motor here. Okay. You put the terminals over here as usual, as a usual mini 4-wheel drive, and then you put your gears over here, and there you put your fluorine coated or whatever shaft you put over there for the gears, and then you put the gear cover. The one good thing about this chassis is this motor catch over here, where you put the gears. It is compatible with a 351. It is compatible with the 351 gears and 371. Unlike the Super 1 and Super FM, you have to buy a special gear ratio, which I mentioned with my old videos, and I said I put the item number on the video. But this doesn't need that. You can put a 351 high-speed gear and an EX gear 371. As you can notice, compared to TZ, if you guys are familiar with the TZX have 2 holes over here in the Super X and other chassis. This one doesn't have one. It does only have this hole with 1 point attachment, which is make the car, you know, it's not as tough or like strong compared to the other chassis, which is, it will make you really like challenging for modifying this car. Actually, I think this is one of the least modified cars that they use nowadays because of the adaptability. The adaptability of this chassis is not as great because, as you can see, there's not a lot of holes. The positive thing on this chassis, which is really good, is the wheelbase. AR's chassis is one of its accessor. So if you can notice, the battery is lower to the ground, which is the AR chassis. The battery, you take it from the bottom. I'll make another video of that. But this is the great grandfather of the AR chassis. Okay, before AR chassis, TZ was born. All right, the Super TZ chassis was born. So if you guys want to take a look, I will give this a look over the TZ chassis if you want it to be more challenging and everything. The length with the rear roller stay, if you put a rear roller stay over here, the length of the chassis would be 146 millimeter. So all the stock racers over there, you can put a roller stay. On the technical races, they put the one with a brake. So it's 146 millimeter. The width is 90 millimeter. All right, that's pretty narrow. If you actually remove this part is really narrow. All right. So that's why it's kind of better in cornering, and it's like loose in the track. The wheelbase is 82 millimeter, which is the wheelbase over here. This is 82 millimeter, which is a little bit slower but fast in cornering. It's fast in cornering, but the width with the wheels makes it stable because it's narrow. So that compensates it straight out from the box. Again, all the stats that I'm giving you is straight out from the box. All right. The ground clearance with a large diameter from the wheel to the ground is 6 millimeter. With a small diameter is 3 millimeter with a high profile tires. Okay, with a high profile. The drive shaft, which is 60 millimeter too, which is really small. That's also, it's the same as the Super one, so it's good for cornering too. Straight from the box. So the down thrust, which is the angle straight from the box, which is when you put a roller over there. The down thrust is 8, which is kind of a lot. The angle 8, so it's all angled 8 degrees like that. So to make it stable on the track, which is surprisingly 8. You know, so when you go to the change lane, usually that works on change lanes. The angle is 8 degrees. The weight of this chassis with a large diameter wheel with batteries is 117 with alkaline batteries. So again, I'm gonna give you the stats. The toughness is 3, which is, I think it's pretty tough. I think it's underrated. It's like pretty tough for 3. Acceleration is 3.5. Surprisingly 3.5 because it's the same. Actually, if you do a reverse, if you look at it, it's an FM chassis. You know, it's an FM chassis but with a rear motor. So it's 3.5 with acceleration. Cornering is 4, which is only 1 down for the best in cornering, which is the MA chassis. So it's pretty good in cornering. So that makes sense that the first generation technical racers in the Philippines use a Super TZ chassis because of the cornering. The stability is 2.9, which is, I know why, because it doesn't really have a rear stay that you can fix it right there. The adaptability is 3, which is you can't really adapt much unless you make a new hole, which is in the US, in Taiwan, Indonesia, and Japan, and other countries, making a new hole is allowed. But in the Philippines, unfortunately, they are not allowing to do new holes. So the adaptability will be really tough. Okay, that's why it's only 3, because there's not a lot of holes. And also the maintenance will be 3. Okay, maintenance will be 3. You know, trying to maintain the chassis. You know, to keep it as much as possible. But for me, in my opinion, just this chassis is pretty good. It's good for technical races. If you're a beginner, find the chassis that you like, and if you want the Super TZ chassis, you can also use it. You can modify it. It depends on your region too, how you're gonna modify it. But there's always a way if you're trying to modify a mini 4-wheel drive. That's how I look at it. If you really want a challenge, I would say use this chassis. Like, it takes a lot of challenge because you have to make a new hole, like to bumperless it. or like try to make the 1-point stay over here really tough. Well, you know, FM chassis users use that, so that would be pretty interesting to see somebody with a Super TZ chassis. The famous MiG X, Noobworks founder, using Super TZ X, but the Super TZ he haven't done. He said he likes the Super TZ X more. He's using it for speed tech. Like, I have this chassis, maybe I'll use it for technical. I don't know, this is not really my forte, but Super TZ is reliable. If you want challenge, go for it. You don't have to worry breaking a bumper or whatever. Yeah, so that's about it. If you guys like this chassis, please hit subscribe in the bottom. By the way, thanks to JHT Mini 4-Wheel Drive for our sponsor for my sliding dampers and all my Mini 4-Wheel Drive needs. You can check him out in Facebook, JHT Mini 4-Wheel Drive, Twitter, and also in eBay. Yeah, you have an eBay account. Alright, so what's up, Jeff? Yeah, what's up, buddy? Thanks for all the goods again. Thanks, MiG X, for the Super TZ chassis. Yeah, so this is cielshock. As I always say, we learn from you, you learn from us, and always race humble. Alright? Peace.